That's similar. That's similar to me. I didn't have someone tell me like a prophet, the oracle, be like, once this happened, you will
be on the wrong side of history.
Ending. Yeah, it's like you don't want to be in the bad end.
Normally I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, brother. But I was like, he's totally right. He's totally right. The One Piece will come to an end, and it will either be historically bad or historically good. There is no middle of the road for this ending. And I was like, I would beat myself to the ground if I didn't participate in it. And so while I miss out on some of the anime only moments, I am just like reading the manga all the way through, and like I'll go back and I'll check they post the fights like 10 seconds after the release. So I'll check, I'll see him like on TikTok with their like Carrie Underwood singing over it or whatever. But it was like, I mean, it's good. It's good. I like it. It's just I needed somebody to like really point that out to me, because I just did not care.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boys, and we are back with the 47th episode of the DNAnime podcast. My beautiful crew, that is Vic Seal, and we're here to sit down here and talk about some anime with you guys. Are you guys excited? Are you guys happy? Are you guys ready to get your weeb on? The whole thing is really, like, I feel like I'm going all over the place, but I am very excited to talk about anime, Vix, because this season has been pretty solid. From ReZero to Solo Leveling to Shangri-La Frontier to... I don't even know what else has been going on, but I feel like this has been a solid...
Sakamoto Days is still out there, but it's only on Netflix, and it's still on the list. 0 episodes watched.
Hey, Vix, I got something for you, man. I'm going to hook you up with a little something. A little something later. And it's not perverted.
You want to buy a watch, kid?
Yeah. Whoa. But yeah, man, I'm excited. It's been such a solid like season. I feel like last season it was like a lull in like anime to watch. So I was reading a lot of manga and just got catching up with some stuff that I was behind on, because I was behind on DNAnime. I was behind on Sakamoto Days. I still am. I'm 20 chapters away. Is
it me, or is DNAnime like taking random breaks?
It took a 21-day break, dude. And I almost felt like I was dying. I was like,
I kept every Sunday I checked my manga app, because that was like the day where all of my manga just came out, and it just like DNAnime just like fell off the map for a second, and I was like, what?
They took a 3-week hiatus and came back with some. Are you caught up?
I believe so.
DNAnime came out with some. The last chapter. All right, I'll say this, and then maybe you'll know if you caught up or not. Basketball.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I think that's caught up. That art in that, like on the basketball court with all the heads, like that looked amazing. Like the art in DNAnime is so good. I feel like that's not really underrated part of DNAnime. Like at the end of the day, DNAnime is amazing. And obviously you guys have been seeing, if you've been watching the anime, DNAnime is incredible. Season 2 is actually coming out relatively soon. I don't know when, but I've been seeing trailers about it and people talking about it, so I'm assuming that's coming out soon. That's just how I work. I hear a thing and I just assume things. I'm your typical American. But I'm glad. Hopefully the anime will be back soon. And then I've been really enjoying the manga. But yeah, it took a 3-week break. And I feel like a lot of...
I mean, I'm fine with it taking a break. It's just I didn't see... Because I don't go to the last page, because it's always like a color panel or whatever. And they always put like in the tiny text in the corner whenever it's the final text page. It's just like on a hiatus until such a date, and it's like like this big, and I'm like, I didn't see that. Then the next week I just go, what? Where is it?
every now and again I'll go back and I'll check, and then when you go to the actual like manga, it'll say at the top, coming in 6 days normally. Yeah. But I went to DNAnime one week and it was like 21 days. I was like, oh, so I kind of forgot about DNAnime for a while. But I do feel like, again, making a manga in Shonen Jump is very difficult. It's a grueling, back-breaking, spine-shattering process. Just ask Togashi. Like, people get very sick. And I feel like they've actually started, I don't know. I've always heard that the work culture in Japan is terrible. You know, there's a whole term of black companies. Of these companies that you work at that treat you terribly, they work you long hours. Is Zenshu, right?
No, well, it's actually called Black Company, is what it's called.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
And it's funny because the main character was I think he was like a CEO of a black company, and then he got isekai'd, and he turned the isekai world into like his own black company. And he just started like abusing all of the like orcs and stuff as like his minor labor, like actual pickaxe mining. And so they like farmed minerals, and he just turned that. He found like a secret entrance down to a lower floor. So he had like solo claim to a bunch of rare minerals, and he used that to like start up his company. And he just started like mistreating everybody.
I'm glad that you clarified, because when you said miners and anime, I'm just like,
yeah, no, I was like, no, I know how it goes. I gotta check out the weird stuff. No weird stuff going on. Well, I mean, the dude is like actually, you know, he's just a black company, but it's not that kind of weird, different kind of weird. So.
Yeah, more relatable for me because I hate my job as well. But it's actually okay. So I feel like this is a multifaceted topic because I feel like a lot of animes are now really speaking out about this. Zenishu talks about a person being overworked and passing away, getting isekai that way.
They didn't even die from overwork. They died from nasty clams.
I feel like that's the the excuse. She died from imagination. But the whole thing was like is that, and then also an anime that was very good that I feel like both of us really enjoyed, Zom 100, which. That felt so relatable because I've worked in corporate America for a long time now.
That's such a good anime.
So good, dude. Again, another thing that took a hiatus as well. But Zom 100 is so good, and the whole thing was the main character working the corporate job.
Bring it back.
I need to read the manga. I heard the manga's amazing, and I've seen some panels from it, and it looks very, very good. Really enjoyed the anime. I wanted to come back because again, it's very relatable. Like working at a job where you just kind of like you wake up in the morning, you're dreading going in, you go in, you do your 8 hours, you come home, you're tired, you surf on YouTube for a little bit, you go to sleep, you rinse and repeat. It does make you feel like you are just going through the motions, you know, stuck in a rut. You feel like the living dead. And the whole thing with the main character of Zom 100, the zombie outbreak breaks out. He can break up that rut, that mundane, you know, daily activity that he always did of going to work and being mistreated and going home and just being alone and eating and drinking and whatever. And now he's in a world that he's free of all that. And in the world of all the zombies and the living dead, he's the most alive that he's ever felt. And seeing the world painted in his worldview as this crazy person that's so happy that he doesn't have to work anymore is very fun. And a lot of the main message of Zom 100, outside of kind of like breaking the monotony of going in and dealing with that every single day, is following your dreams. So the character, he has 100 things on his bucket list that he wants to do before he, you know, dies in the world of the dead. And he starts meeting other characters. He starts infecting, you know, essentially, it sounds bad saying it in the zombie apocalypse show, but he infects them with his fervor for life. Inspires them. There you go. I don't like puns, but yeah, he inspires other people to kind of follow the passion. So his friend, who's also, you know, working as, what was he, like a hostess or host or whatever? Like he did something with like women, and he was talking about how his job was great or whatever. But then he was like, oh, wasn't that great?
The best friend?
Yeah, the best friend dude.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I was gonna betray him or something.
I was waiting for it, and then he whipped his clothes off, and I was like, maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He showed holes, and I was like, this is a good dude. This is a good guy right here. But yeah, so Zom 100 is so interesting, and I do feel like that's becoming more of an open topic. There's a lot of foreigners that work in Japan, and they experience these companies that work you very hard. You know, if you leave early, it's seen as you're a bad employee, so you work late. Some people sleep at their jobs, as well as, you know, you feel like you're inclined to go out after work with your bosses to go out and drink, because if you're not, then you're seen as a bad employee. And while that is kind of a thing in the States, because I've had poker nights and going out to, you know, drink with my boss and everything like that, because you got to feel like you got to play the game.
My boss try to like invite me out for like the team out for like a dinner or something. And I'm like, can I decline? I've literally turned down like 5 dinners. Yeah. I'm like, I would rather go home and have like a cheese sandwich than go out to wherever that you're paying for.
Good old fat, not even grilled, just straight out of fridge cheese sandwich. But yeah, it's just like, you know, when I was younger and I was really like grinding, you know, I would go out and play poker with my boss. I would go out and hang. I'd be like, oh, I can get all this information, because you talk to the boss and you see what positions are open. You talk to him about work and stuff like that. And I just realized, like, yo, man, it doesn't matter. There's so much favoritism when it comes to corporate America that you just end up, like, if you're not the guy that they want, or a guy that they, you know, hanging out with a lot, or they really like, that's kind of just like a carbon copy of them, you're not that guy. You know what I mean? And I feel like now that it's becoming more, I guess more spotlight is being shown on the animation industry as well as the manga industry. More mangaka are getting or are being allowed to
this
take
is like
breaks.
The anime version of Blink Twice. If you need help, they just like animating all of they're like, please help. But check out this cool animation.
Mappa, especially making a show about animation, my stomach dropped because I was like, and they were like, they're notorious.
They're like, hey, we know that you guys all know that we're overworked, but we're gonna die by clam instead. Yeah, but you know,
yeah. Like I'm just like, I don't like. It made me feel bad. Like I didn't watch this show, but when it was first announced, I was like, we know about the the status of the people who are working at Mappa and how they're overworking, how they keep taking on more and more projects. And the thing is that Mappa is one of the best. It's like Mappa, Bone, Ufotable. Like they make amazing work. And I want them to be paid well. I want them to be treated well. So actually, Vix, have you ever heard of the Animation Dormitory?
No, I don't think so.
So the Animation Dormitory is a housing project in Japan that's run by one guy. Well, not run by one guy, but it was started by a guy. If I had all the information up, I would break down who it was run by. But I started following him a while ago on Twitter, and I was like, because essentially it's a guy who owned this giant apartment complex of a dormitorium, and he will house artists and mangaka. So it'd be like younger animation, people who are just starting out, and he'll provide them with affordable housing, essentially.
Housing?
So they live there for very cheap.
What's that?
Yeah, which is crazy. So essentially, he has this giant dormitory where these people can live in, and it's very small. Like it's literally just like a college dormitory that he owns.
Hey, but they're able to live there
shelter. Because, and there's one of the things that from the animation dormitory that I got into was they would do interviews with a lot of the animation staff that would work on multiple shows. And one interview I watched, I forget the girl's name, but she was an animator that was working with Mappa and working on multiple different projects. And she kind of broke down her day. And it's literally like 18 to 20 hours of working, getting sleep where she can. And she's working on like 3 shows at a time for 3 different production companies. And she kind of broke down how much they get paid for cuts, how much they get paid by frame and everything like that. And it's like below like minimum wage in the United States of America that she's making. But I was like, a lot of people who are doing something in the creative field, it's you're doing it for the love of the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it sucks because the people who love anime and love animation and love art, they get taken advantage of. And it's just like, well, what else are you going to do? Like, you want to work on One Punch Man. You want to work on JJK. But then you got to be killing yourself, getting no sleep, barely eating, barely getting by, while doing multiple different jobs at the same time just to make ends meet. And I feel like now that things like the Animation Dormitory or, struggles like what Togashi's going through. Togashi's a legend. He made Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter, 2 legendary series, and he destroyed his back. He got incredibly sick. I mean, a lot of that was self-inflicted because he was just living in trash.
Yeah,
but I'm sure his mental health wasn't great.
They just fall into the creative space where they're like, I'm not going to put this, I'll put it away later, and they just like throw it to the side.
Yeah, because you just like, if you don't,
Asmongold's room and
exactly, like if you're not working, you're dead, you're homeless, and it is something I was joking about or talking about recently, in our little community, is that if I miss a paycheck, one missed paycheck could be me on the streets, and I feel like that's a lot of people. So you got to work, and especially if it's something that you love, then you want to make it work and you want to be successful and you want to prove people wrong. And I feel like now people are more, with the advent of the internet and people actually coming up and speaking out about the situations that they've been in, like at Mappa and everything like that, you're now starting to see more manga getting, allowing time for them to be put on hiatus. So like Oda now, Oda's getting a little bit older. One Piece has been running for 25 years, and now he takes like one break off a week because like Oda's had a lot of interviews where he's come out and he said like, I don't see my family. I'm not there for birthdays. I'm not at home, for anniversaries.
Oh no,
I'm locked up in my studio. Yeah, he's locked up in his studio. I know, right? That's why I feel like Kishimoto was going with Naruto. It's like Naruto's living the life that he was living, and he can't see his family.
Another SOS, and we just looked over it.
Probably. Because again, like they're overworked. And the thing is with like Shonen Jump is that you'll get canceled. They're very cutthroat. If your series is not doing well, if it drops out that top 10, again, have you watched the Red Bakuman? I feel like that's a perfect encapsulation of how cutthroat the manga industry is, man. Bakuman? And I feel like the first time, really, is written by the Death Note creator. is a manga about two artists who are making their own manga. They're like college students. They work together to make their own manga, and they make like their first like successful manga. It is in like their version of Shonen Jump for a while, and then it's going great, but then all these stress and all these things is happening, and then they end up like it gets canceled, and then they're like, oh, well, we got to come up with another idea for our next successful manga. It's really good, and it gives you a lot of insight into the process of making manga. Just like how certain other shows, I don't know, Zenshu really gives you much insight into the animation industry.
Shirobako and I think New Game are probably the most like realistic-ish ones that actually like give you the insight onto it. Shirobako is like really good. New Game was also like really good, but Shirobako was like, I don't know. I really liked watching those. They were just dead on, or they were just like, that was it. They were just making either anime or games, and they were showing like all of the departments, even though it was like one person in a department, which is not realistic, obviously, but you know, anime.
Yeah.
But they had it so that you could just kind of see the different like steps in, at least in New Game, you could see like the manager, the general manager, the animators, the artists, and the programmer. They're all like people that they like interact with. So you can kind of see that. Shirobako is pretty much just the equivalent of New Game, but for anime instead of games. Both of them are really good. If you like to just watch those like little, I don't know if I call them slice of life. I guess they're slice of life.
I mean, yeah,
they're like top tier. They're really good. There's no weird romances. Nobody is like trying to hit on each other. Everybody is like professional. I liked it a lot. I was hoping that there would be more like that. I keep my eyes out for them, so which is kind of why I picked up Zenshu, was because I was like, oh nice, another one. And then I looked at it, and speaking of Zenshu, I think it's finally reached the point for me where it is now a chore to watch it, because I had it open. I had it open all week, and I just couldn't watch it. I just like, if there was another thing to watch, I always just watch that. And then I would just be like, well, I'm good for now. And Century would just be up there, and I'm like, I want to watch it, but I don't want to watch it.
Dang, has nothing interesting happened in the show? I've seen two things of Century.
I don't know. It's like all interesting, but it's all so short and like random that it becomes uninteresting. And then it is also in comparison to, like you said earlier, where what is out is good. Like there's Kenshin's remake, there's Shangri-La, there's ReZero, Solo Leveling, all those things come out this season, and it's like that's what it's standing up to, and it's like it's not good enough. That, like, I don't have a better way to put it. It just doesn't draw you in, really. Like you can make an argument where it's like, yeah, I kind of want to watch it because I want to see what's gonna happen, but at the same time, it's like, I don't care about any of these people.
The only two things I've seen in Zenshu is the luchador. Well, the luchador drawing that she did. So I kind of got to see how her like constructs look in the world.
Yeah,
like
Servo
they look like
Tiger.
Weird, sketchy. yeah. So I saw him fighting like what was it, like a giant crab or something? I don't know. It was some kind of monster he was fighting. And then he was like fighting it. And then I saw the girl that got inspired by Servo Tiger, like just posing and being all muscular, and I was like, "Oh,
she was supposed to be the love interest for the guy."
Okay, and she turned to a luchadora.
Yeah, she was like, actually, instead, I'm gonna be a wrestler who saves children with my orphanage, and I was like, that was a change, all right. Like that's a good change, I guess, but like that is a weird one.
Yeah, so I haven't heard anything good about Zenshu. So even when I try to like start it up, I'm just like,
I really want to give it props because it does look good, and like it's not like bad per se. Like there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just like something is missing. There's like no good hook. Everything felt like it was just random, and it was like not going anywhere. The last thing that did happen did kind of have a hook, but I think it's too late. They added in, I guess not really added in, but it was like there. Like one of the like legendary directors from the real world is also there, but is not a person, is just a bird. And so like she was also reincarnated, but is a bird. And
how did she die?
I don't know.
Okay.
They didn't tell us. They might have told us some, but I don't know. But I was like, they are kind of They're making it sound like whatever. So let me start over. What's her name? I don't even know her name.
What's her name?
The main character chick, she has been going through this like storyline, essentially correcting any despair that could happen in that series. That was where it originally went. It was everything led to despair. So she was like fixing all of it as they came up. And then this like other legendary director, who was the one who originally made the series, came up and is like, what you're doing is going to amount to nothing. Like it doesn't do anything. It will all end the same. And I was like, well, that's kind of dumb. like if I wanted to see what the changes were, now it doesn't matter. So I was like, that wasn't a great thing to add in there. Like they should have just not had the bird lady and probably been fine.
Well, maybe they'll break.
They're gonna
somehow.
like test fate, and they're gonna push against it and whatever, and they're gonna have a different ending.
Like Midoriya and Night Eye or something.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't care.
Oh no!
I really want to. I still have it open and stuff, and it's like I just can't bring myself to get to like bring it back up. I don't know. It feels like it's repelling me at this point. I'm like, I can't bring myself to watch it. Feels like it would be a punishment to watch it, but it's not bad. It's weird. It's in this like the strangest middle ground.
Yeah, it's just mediocre, which is worse, I feel like, than it being bad.
Yeah,
it's bad.
It's
laugh
like
at
how
it.
you said, where it's like it's good enough to not just be like utter trash, but it's not good enough to like really make you excited about it. So you're like, you invest more time than you feel like you should, and then you're like, I gotta stop now. I gotta get out of this sunken cost, because I do that all the time. Everything's sunken cost fallacy. Now it's like, I'm what, 9 episodes in, and I'm like, I don't care anymore.
There's so much good stuff you can be watching, Vix.
There is so much good stuff every day that I open it up. Whenever Zenshu comes out, because it comes out on the same day as I think Shangri-La. And I'm like, I'm just gonna watch Shangri-La right now. And then after I watch Shangri-La, I'm like, nah, now my bar is too high. I can't watch it. Then I go to the next day, and then the next day, Solo Leveling comes out, and I was like, I'm gonna watch Solo Leveling. Now my bar is too high. Then I'm like, all right, so I go to the next day, and then it's like Kenshin comes out on Fridays, or either Thursday or Fridays. And so I watch Kenshin on one of those days, and then the other one is the Guild Receptionist one. It's also kind of dumb, but it's like, it's dumb in a way where it's like fun to watch. So like that one's more got more of a pull. I'd probably still give it only like a 6 or a 7. It's not fantastic, but it is like, it's enough. I don't hate it. It's whatever. Chill. It's one of those like, there's got to be like a low bar somewhere, and that's probably one of them that just kind of brings you down. So like I could watch Zenshu like alongside that one, but my bar is too high, so sucks.
Oh my goodness.
ReZero on the other day. You expect me to watch Zenshu where this chick draws for 5 minutes an episode when ReZero comes out on that episode and the guy gets his fingers just like cut off in the most horrific death to date?
ReZero's been so good this season.
Speaking of ReZero, though, you said you were caught up, but you weren't sure if you were caught all the way up. So the most recent episode was Garfield.
I didn't see the Garfield episode.
It is epic.
I'm an episode behind.
It is
epic.
It is?
Because I was sitting there watching. I was like, when are they going back to Garfield and what's the old dude's name?
I don't know. Well, they're separated. They got separated, but Garfield got his like time to shine this last episode.
So glad, because I feel like this season he just kept like, I know he's dealing with like the trauma.
He was getting punched down left and right.
Yeah,
I was
just like, oh,
they always say don't kick a man when he's down, and they like JoJo jumped him every episode. So
oh no, like that was I was starting to like get mad.
He came back. He got his moment to shine, and he stepped up. It was a good fight. It was really epic. Definitely watch it. Like as soon as you get the chance, watch that. You're gonna be so excited. You're gonna be so pumped for it.
I'm gonna watch it tonight because I love Garfield as a character. I love him calling Subaru boss and how he's like always looking out for people. But I was like, oh man, he's going through all this trauma.
I like how he got himself named Gorgeous Tiger.
Oh yeah.
So everybody knows him as that, which is actually part of why the next episode is so great. The next episode is so great, half because of the name and like how people address him. It's so good. It really melts the ice around his heart. It's so great. I love it. It was so amazing.
I'm so glad because I love him saving the kids and being like this superhero for them.
Oh yeah, just wait.
He didn't want to reveal his actual name. Okay. I'm excited.
They did it so perfect for him. Like he basically gets to live out his like superhero fantasy in this fight, and everybody gets to see it, and it's fucking awesome.
Dude, ReZero has just been killing it. Like when I first watched the 1.5-hour episode, I was like, you know, this is fine, but nothing. Yeah, and I'm just like, nothing really happened. They just kind of like putting all the chess pieces in place, and they kept hyping up this city, being like, this place is like a water prison. Oh, terrible. It was like Subaru just like, this is like something bad gonna happen. I'm just like, yeah, Subaru, you right. It's just like, what happens? It's just a big water prison, everything going bad. And now everything that popped up, I'm just like, ooh, they had to have that lull, that calm before the storm. This season has been like, everybody is here. It's like Smash Ultimate. Everyone is here. And there's so many things happening and so many characters are split up. And it's like the situation that they're currently in is dire. And things are going bad, and
everybody's getting their closure at the same time.
Yeah, but then like it's
so like, brilliant. I like how the plan, although was so like detrimental, they still gave Garfield the chance.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's considering who they told. Like he explained who he was up against. I was like, that's wild that you told him that he could take that chance. Like that is an insane choice. So
they said him. I think his name is it William? Willem?
Willem is the old man.
Yeah, there we go.
But he's up against the 8 arms guy. That's who he's up against. But he's supposed to be like some living legend. Apparently, the multi-arms thing is like an entire race. Yeah, and so usually they have 4 to 6 arms, and he is the like one that was born with 8, and he ended up being like some legendary fighter. So they like he was essentially fighting against a heroic legend from his childhood, and I was like, that's terrifying and kind of epic at the same time. But yeah, he definitely amazing episode. Who animates this? Did we look this up before? Who animates this?
Probably. All right. So while you looking at it up, I want to talk about a couple more things. So ReZero has been fantastic, dude. It has been incredible. It's been so much fun to watch. Shangri-La Frontier has been amazing. What else has they worked on? If you can look that up as well.
Steins Gate.
Ooh, that's a banger. Steins Gate is so Steins Gate is so good.
A Devil is a Part-Timer, Goblin Slayer, Akamega Kill.
Just hit after hit after hit. Then we're going season 2.
Grimoire of Zero. They're working on a lot of good stuff. Cautious Hero. Dude, Cautious Hero. If you haven't seen Cautious Hero and you need to laugh at something, I could watch Cautious Hero. That shit is so funny.
Okay. I feel like am I crazy? But I feel like the era of like comedy anime is just gone.
And I feel like few and far between because like it's harder to make a joke or like it's harder to make the same joke, so they have to come up with like new jokes, and sometimes it's just like really awkward, and you're just like, that's not funny. So
I'm trying to think what like primarily comedy anime I've watched recently. Because Konosuba came back and everybody was just like, no, not as good as the past 2 seasons.
They went away from the comedy part a little bit, and it was kind of weird.
Yeah, so that sucks. Konosuba was a lot of fun. Man, it wasn't
really the worst thing ever, but like, you know, probably like a 7, probably 7.5, I guess.
Because pretty much everybody that I heard talk about Konosuba season 3, they were just like, I don't even know what it is. It's just not. It's good to me, and I was just like, dang. So it is. I feel like it just fits in that. I don't know. Maybe just because they went away from the comedy and started doing like more narrative driven stuff. I'm not exactly sure what was going on. I know it was something like Darkness or whatever, but I haven't watched it. Like she had like a whole plot line or whatever.
Yeah, it was a little too serious for the tone of the show because she was like, you know, she was supposed to be kind of goofy, masochistic, like weirdo, and then they're just like, okay, yeah, but what about if she just was like a captive to somebody for a mass amount of debt? And it was like, well, now it's weird. because she didn't really get to be like the darkness that you knew in the previous ones. She was like, she had to be, what was her real name? Lalatina, I think her name was. So she didn't get to really be darkness. She had to be Lalatina the whole time, and it was like everybody was trying to get her back. So nobody was like doing anything funny. Everybody was trying to do serious things to get her to stop doing her serious thing. But her serious thing involved them because, like, the party racked up such a mass amount of debt that she had to, like, essentially sell herself off as like a bride or like a political marriage to erase the debt. And everyone else was like, nah, fuck that. And then, like, there were moments that were pretty funny here and there, but most of the time it was like, this is like a good storyline, but not for this show.
Yeah.
So it was like you went in thinking it was all going to be hee hee ha ha's, and then it was like really serious, and it just didn't sit right. And not only did it not sit right, but it also means that you didn't get the season of funny that you wanted. So not only did you get the wrong season, but you missed out on the right one. It's kind of like a double sucky. So
yeah.
A little unfortunate. They might come back though and like go back to the funny. It's not like impossible because they did resolve it by the end. So, but it's out there. And I did also watch the like Konosuba's spin-off for like figuring out Megumin's past and whatever. How they do their like magic thing is kind of wild because they like all of their magic is tied to their adventure card.
Oh.
And
wait,
it's
so
like
that's why she only got
go
like
through
one
school,
spell? They
just like give you magic points to spend into your adventure card. And like that's what you get more points by killing more monsters. You kill more monsters, it gets you more points, and then you can get like more skill potions. Megumi was like, nah, fuck that, explosion magic. So she kills basically nothing, spends her entire school career getting enough points for the one spell, and then that's it.
Oh my god. I mean, she should be able to kill a bunch of things.
I mean, she does a couple times, but then she also passes the fuck out. So
yeah,
I feel like eventually that she'll stop passing out because she's at least still conscious now. She's just like immobile. But definitely, I mean, like it was kind of, it wasn't serious, but it wasn't that funny. It was kind of like their slow decline going down for Konosuba. But the weird part is like I don't feel like it's all gone. So like I don't feel like they totally butchered it, and they can totally bring back like the season 1, 2, maybe 3 funnies. But it definitely, the 2 that I watched were definitely of a lower quality than the first 2. So that's that.
Sense.
But I will always recommend Asobi Asobase and Cautious Hero. Those are the funniest anime I think I've ever seen.
Okay, maybe I need to check them out. Because again, I used to watch a ton, like Excel Saga. Prison School is funny, but also very weird. There's also Cromartie High School, which is, oh, dude, so funny. I love Cromartie High School. You got Full Metal Panic and Full Metal Panic for Fumafu. Like, I just miss that era of, like, the mid-aughts where they just had a lot of comedic anime. And maybe I'm just not looking into it, or maybe I'm just not seeing it. I was very excited for Way of the House Husband, because I was like, oh, this is, everybody says it's so
everybody
funny,
like
so
roast that one for being basically a PowerPoint presentation?
It's literally just a slideshow. Some people were trying to like big it up, me like, well, it works for the comedy because it's just like, some of the bits.
That one I could totally see it, because I don't know very much about Way of the House Husband, but from what I've seen, I could totally see it doing that and getting away with it.
Yeah.
So.
But it's a hard sell for like, hey, watch this still image guy do still image stuff.
Slide across the screen. It ain't the first time they haven't. Look at Blue Lock.
Oh no. Well, hey, at least it picked it up right at the end where it mattered the most.
all they did by making the last 2 episodes like phenomenal is you made like a whole bunch of people pissed off that they didn't start with it. Yeah. And like all they can say is, well, next time give us a chance. And it's like, no, that's not how that works.
Exactly. That's what it feels like.
It's up to you to make me want to watch it. Like, it doesn't have to be phenomenal from the get-go, but it can't be a dumpster fire right out the gate. Like, even actually, you know what? Blue Lock was good enough. It could have been a dumpster fire right out the gate like it was. It could have, like, the first 2 episodes probably could have just stayed a dumpster fire. But as long as it got a little better, people would have just gone back to it. Because, like, I can I can muscle my way through 2 kind of sucky episodes as long as it kind of is like along the same vein as the first season, because the first season was a lot of fun. I was like, I could deal with 2 episodes, but 13 episodes, pushing it a little bit.
That's a hard sell. That's a hard sell.
It's like One Piece gets good at 500 episodes. Like,
okay, okay. I want to say this real quick. That is a lie.
That is a lie.
One Piece is good from jump. I get it. The art style is goofy.
Saiga Runner, he said it the best.
Dude.
If you can watch One Piece up to Arlong Park, and if you get through Arlong Park and you still don't like it, you won't.
Yeah.
If you get to Arlong Park and you do like it, you'll probably like the rest of the series. But if you get to Arlong Park and you don't like that, then you probably won't like the rest of the series. So
we both watch One Piece and read it, right? What got you into One Piece?
So somebody said one thing, and I was like, I cannot let this pass. They said One Piece will end at some point, and it will be history. If you do not watch it now, you will be on the wrong side of history. And I was like, fuck, you can't say that. And then I just had to read all of it, and I watched, because I was actually a One Piece hater at the start, because I initially watched it on 4Kids, and they censored all the stupid shit, and I was like, all right, Sanji getting the lollipop is dumb, Luffy losing his teeth was dumb, and I'm like, all right, what is going on here? So I just didn't watch it for the longest time, and then I kept seeing the clips and AMVs and videos of One Piece as it was progressing, and I was like, okay, no, I can watch this under its original typing. So if I just watch the dub or the sub, then I can watch it normally online through Crunchyroll or wherever I was watching it at the time. I got about 500 episodes in and was like, this pacing sucks nuts.
Yeah,
and so I just
bad.
full dropped the anime. I went to whatever chapter was that episode, and then I just read from there. And then I read another 1,200 chapters. And I was like, all right.
I mean,
now I'm caught up.
Similar. That's similar to me. I didn't have someone tell me like a fucking prophet, the oracle, be like, once this happened, you will
be on the wrong side of history.
Ending. Yeah, it's like you don't want to be in the bad end.
Normally I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, brother. But I was like, he's totally right. He's totally right. The One Piece will come to an end, and it will either be historically bad or historically good. There is no middle of the road for this ending. And I was like, I would beat myself to the ground if I didn't participate in it. And so while I miss out on some of the anime only moments, I am just reading the manga all the way through, and I'll go back and I'll check they post the fights 10 seconds after the release. So I'll check, I'll see them on TikTok with their Carrie Underwood singing over it or whatever.
Carrie Underwood.
But it was it's good. It's good. I like it. It's just I needed somebody to really point that out to me, because I just did not care. I was at the time I was the show was good, but the censoring was annoying, and I was I don't think it's good enough for me to get over it. So I just didn't, until when he said it, and from what I had seen at that point, I was like, it's either I start it now and I just read one a week for however many, or I wait for it to end and then I'm mad for 30 years while I try to catch up. So I was like, I might as well just go along with it. And I was like, Naruto's over, Bleach is over, My Hero is coming to an end. I was like, this is way before My Hero is coming to an end.
Yeah.
But I just started running out of things to read every week, because I was reading Naruto, I was reading Bleach, and they all started coming to an end. And I was like, I like having something that is always coming out every week. So it just became One Piece. And I know that the season skips for animes are good for them and their creators. I wish that they would make a pact with somebody else, and it's on my off seasons, you go. And then
that would be sick.
So it would just be season 1 of My Hero, and then season 1 of Substitute Anime 1, and then season 2 of My Hero, and then season 2 of Substitute Anime 1. I would like
it should
that.
Be One Piece should be taken like Call of Duty, and it's 4 different studios working on them. And then, Treyarch works on Wano, and then whatever Activision. What is the other? What was it?
Who was it that made it before? It was like Ravencroft or something.
Sledgehammer.
Made it, like,
yeah,
way
Ravencroft
back.
and Sledgehammer. We need a Sledgehammer to work on Egghead. Then, you know, where we are right now, you know, having the studio work on it, that would be sick, but obviously that would probably be crazy logistically, licensing and everything like that. But
yeah,
I'm glad that One Piece is on the break because it needed it. I'm glad that they really started working on the pacing issues. They're still there in Wano and Egghead, obviously, because the manga, you know, the anime and the manga are pretty close.
15 chapters behind right now because that's like a novel a page, and I'm like, I keep opening it up, and I'm like, not yet. And I just close the app.
Yeah. So like so One Piece is a interesting phenomenon just in general because of that factor. It's just like once we know what the One Piece is, that's like a giant almost 30-year long mystery that we've all been on this journey with Luffy and the Straw Hats. So once it's out there and you know.
I wonder if we've seen it already.
I don't know actually, because Oda said that the One Piece is a tangible thing. It's not the friends we made along the way.
Yeah,
it's
and
not
probably,
just
like the real thing is going to be like on Laugh Tale. But like, what if it was like with somebody already? And like, what if we've seen it? That would be kind of cool.
Maybe.
Who was it? I think it was Bagel in your Discord mentioned that it could be like a devil fruit tree, and I'd be like, that'd be pretty neat. I don't think that would be like
cool,
good enough, but like, it'd be pretty neat.
That wouldn't be enough, you know what I mean? I know we were talking.
Like, corner the market, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, but I don't feel like that really helps Luffy in it. And I feel like Vegapunk is kind of like, you know, broken the seal on that because he's making artificial devil fruits and the green blood and all that stuff on Egghead. So it's just fruits. Like, and the smiles that are all junked up. But yeah, so it's like there's an interesting factoid that I heard about recently. Not really heard about. They kind of announced it with Funimation. But the English dub will soon be caught up to the Japanese dub. Like they will be caught up and fully, you know, voiced and taken care of. So the anime, English and Japanese will be up to date and at the same point, right?
Right.
They're still on this break. They're reanimating Fishman Island while they're taking this break to kind of like reevaluate the anime.
The actual anime. They just find the lost films like they did in SpongeBob.
But yeah, so it's like they're I feel like it's kind of crazy because obviously Oda's come out and said like, hey, we're in the final stretch. Oh, One Piece is only gonna be going for 5 more years, and he keeps extending it. But it's kind of crazy that we are getting to the end of One Piece because One Piece has been around almost as long as I've been alive. You know, a lot of people have been reading One Piece for the majority of their lives, and it's been like such a mainstay.
Weird when Naruto ended because that's what it was around for as long as I had known anime was a thing. So I just always watched it, and it's gonna be weird, and it's gonna be not over when One Piece ends. It's gonna be like Naruto, and people are just gonna talk about it for forever. Like it'll never go away.
You think we get in a 2-piece?
The second piece. They just open the chest on Laugh Tale and it just says to be continued. It's a little IOU.
Oh my god. I'll revolt. I'll fly to Japan and be like, oh, do we gotta talk?
And they just like imagine if he does that and then he like passes the series off to like his kid. Like, now you take the reins another 30 years from now.
That would be terrible. It'll be like a Studio Ghibli, what's his name?
Gato, I think his name was.
No, maybe I don't know if the son is. Yeah, what's his dad's name? Oh my god, how am I?
Miyazaki?
Miyazaki, yes, Miyazaki. How he just hates his kid and everything that he works on.
Yeah, every time he releases something, he's like, all right, now I'm gonna make one and show you how it's really done.
Dude, it's so messed up.
The only one that I've ever seen that I just straight up know is his son's was The Cat Returns. And that was a weird one. Like that was strange, even for Studio Ghibli standards. Like they have weird stuff, but it was all like methodical. Cat Returns felt like random. There's just like a random talking cat. Suddenly they can fly, and you're like,
yeah, it sucks, man. That must be. Honestly, it feels like the most anime thing ever. It's like, oh yeah, your father's this legend, and you're trying to live up to the legacy, and it's just like, I'm disappointed in you, my son.
Honestly, it would suck, especially if his passion is movie making. There's just no way. Like are basically trying to one up Superman in a contest of strength. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah,
so
it's rough, man. I wonder because I've seen Miyazaki's like interviews, him saying anime was a mistake, which is so funny. It's so that screenshot of him with the cigarette, and it's just his quote of anime was a mistake. It's hilarious. Obviously, it's out of context. He was talking in regards to the way the anime is, kind of evolved, and he's like, "No, it should be cinema. We should be working on all these things that are changing the game, and it will evolve animation and make these."
Instead, we get mass-produced shovelware.
Yeah, so I understand where he's coming from, but it's so funny.
Actually, this season's latest season for me is about how I feel like it should be. I have like 5-6 anime that I'm watching, and they're all good. Yeah.
You telling me you don't want 18 isekais a fucking season?
Last season, I watched 15 series, and the season before that, I watched 18, and they were all like middle of the road stuff. And this one, I'm like, every time I look at my list, there's like 6 things on here. I'm like, this is missing so many things, and it's like I have so much like available time to watch anime that I'm like, it's weird that I don't have one to watch. Yeah. But I like it like this because these are all good. Like every time all of them come out, I'm like, this is epic. Can't wait to watch this. So on and so forth. And then Zenshu comes out and I'm like, fuck. All right.
I can't remember what's the anime with the strong adventurer dude who's trained by like the world's greatest heroes and the dark elf girl is around not doing anything. What's the anime called?
Osan?
Yeah, Osan, yes. You know what, Osan?
The world's most okayest anime, yeah. It's crazy.
Okay, but then I feel like this really illustrates the whole point. Would you rather watch Osan or Zenshu?
Probably, honestly.
The fact that it's so hard to pick, having mediocrity is the worst.
So, okay, so both of their storylines are kind of mediocre. But the final episode of Osan was way better than the rest of what Zenshu has been so far. But Zenshu has a substantially better animation than Osan did, except for episode 12. And episode 12 was just like probably a little underneath it. Probably not like, it's not as clean. But Osan had the one episode that was really good that kind of pulled you back up, and Zenshu doesn't have that yet. It might. It's only 9 episodes in. It happened at episode 12 for Osan, but
yeah, at
the same time, it's like right now, I think I would probably still want to watch Zenshu over Osan, just because like it's cleaner. It's a little cleaner. The story is, it's kind of random, but it's like still a little better than Osan's, because Osan's was just like, I'm a strong guy, but I'm like really strong guy. I'm a strong guy, and then I'm with other strong guys, and then like that's the entire thing, and it is like just a typical beat 'em up show. And then Zenshu has like some degree of substance to it, while it is like a little hard to follow, and sometimes there's like gaps in places that you're like, Justice, the dragon, who like has a she's a red dragon, has a black wing that wasn't always there, and everyone's like, you couldn't fly? It's like, yes, your one wing is literally torched. Of course. Like, you couldn't figure that out by looking?
They're just, medieval peasants, Vix. They're not that smart.
They're all colorblind. This is the Giver world now. Justice come out of the shadows like a little red, and they're like, what was that?
Dude, it's ridiculous. But yeah,
it can save itself. It can. I, in no respect, hate it, really. It's just hard to like immerse yourself in. It's so random. Osan was kind of like that too, where you were just like, it's fine, but you kind of knew why it was like fine. It's just like, it was really generic. You've seen it 10 bazillion times where the guy was so strong you didn't know he was strong. The one difference was that 4 episodes in or something, the strong guy was like, oh, I guess I really am strong. And then he was just like, I'm strong, and then he just beats the shit out of everybody, and it's like, all right, well.
I'm glad they had that change, because I felt like the joke got old, where you're just like, I'm gonna fight somebody who's like, I'm the fastest guy ever.
I think that's kind of what like saved it for me, because I was so ready to drop it. I was like, I was like one of you guys. I was like, say something stupid, have a boring episode, do something. This shit goes in the trash. and they just stayed above it. Like they put the lid on and they just sat on the lid of the trash can the whole time. And then episode 12 came and they're like, and they like put the chrome spray paint over it. And I was like, nice. This fight is awesome.
There you go. You guys heard it first. Osan got the VIX stamp of approval. Best anime in 2024.
I don't know about all that. What came out in 2024? Frieren came out in that year too? Frieren not even stand a chance. Osan, you want like a normal guy or Frieren?
Oh no, we getting canceled after this one.
I want everybody to know that wasn't my take this time. I got the Bebop one. Hey. He wants to have Osan, but he hasn't watched it yet.
I'll say it. If you're too much of a coward to say it, I would say this. Osan 10 out of 10. Sure, I only watched 3 episodes and dropped it.
I've never been known to drop a 10 out of 10 show before.
It was so good. I was just like, you know, when you eat like a 5-course meal and you like halfway through and just like, this food is so good, I'm stuffed. That's how I felt with Osan. I was stuffed after 3 episodes.
I'm gonna eat it later.
Yeah, and I'm still go eat it later. It might have a little mold on it, but I'll go back and watch it.
Frieren gonna age like fine wine, and Osan gonna age like old cheese.
Dude, the thing that sucks is that I love Frieren so much. I love it so much. And it's great that we're seeing like other homies get into it from us talking about it. But then they announced that Frieren season 2 is coming out in 2026, and I'm just like, I want it now. I may not be alive.
It's my anime, and I need it now.
Exactly. Just this.
At least they announced it. At least they didn't just go radio silent for us. There's also that whatever that other anime was that Frieren recommended herself that I forgot what it was already. It was like Dungeon Elf.
Wait, was it? Yeah, it was Delicious. Wait, no, it was
not Delicious. It was Dungeon
Elf.
Something like that.
I actually want to check that out. I want to check that out now. Anime character recommended me anime.
I want to check it out just because of the novelty of it. Like that, I've never heard of somebody having their character recommend another anime. It is really Dungeon Elf. What's a dungeon without treasure chests? I see. I now know why Frieren is recommending that.
Recommended it. What if it's just a gag and it's not even
this
like
whole
good?
Series is just her putting the mimics in the dungeons.
I was more so thinking like, what if it is just Frieren recommended because that's her passion is finding stuff in treasure chests, and she was like, this whole anime about dungeons without treasure chests is a conundrum to me. I really enjoyed this, and it's not like a good show or anything like that. It just is Frieren's pastime. I don't know. I want to check it out. We need to watch it and then review it on the podcast. I don't know where I can find it. I have not heard of it ever, seen of it, heard anybody talk about it ever outside of the fictional character.
It's just a manga.
Is it real? Okay, I was like, is it even real? Are we living in a simulation? The Matrix trying to get me. My Bugatti.
Yeah,
but
it's not an anime. It's just it's a manga.
It's a manga. Okay, I mean, it's cool that, you know, you'll have other mangaka, you know, they're using their characters to shout out other shows. You see it a lot. I mean,
what if it's just
I feel like
again?
most of them. Yeah, it's just like this.
Hey, this is my spin-off series. Don't forget, hey, I made a banger, but this is like also a banger, but you have to go back for this one.
Dude, how sad would you feel if the creator of Frieren, which is like the creator of Spy Family, which is like, I hate Frieren. I really love Elf Dungeon
I would immediately be like, what's going on here? I'd be like, what happened?
Yeah,
what happened to
like,
the passion,
this is my
the love,
passion project,
the mysticism?
Yeah, it's just like, I hate this so much. My real passion is having an elf get lost in dungeons that can't find a treasure chest. But y'all want
real
all this
passion is actually mimics.
Dragons. Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch a show about a mimic, so I just made everybody get stuck in mimics.
Yeah. Dude, I don't think that's the case. I'm joking, but that would be hilarious if
he's serious.
The other
100% male.
Y'all can't tell the sarcasm leaking from my words. Oh my goodness. But no, man, like it's really cool having like other creators shout out other creators' work. You see it every now and again when they're doing interviews, you know, especially in Shonen Jump. You know, people really always shout out like Kishimoto.
Sense of solidarity that they have, and the camaraderie that they get. Having the crossover
they all know what each other are going
Naruto
through.
Has like meat with Luffy, or Luffy has like the ramen with Naruto.
Okay, I will say this, Vic. So you brought up something incredibly funny to me. So you know how sometimes you'll have like other mangaka, whenever a show hits like a monumental moment, or even when the show is about to, or the manga is about to end, another mangaka will draw the characters from the other show and do like a tribute to them.
Yeah.
Horikoshi did an amazing one at the end of My Hero. Oh, at the end of My Hero. Okay, Horikoshi got a good one. At the end of My Hero, Kishimoto drew, I believe it was Todoroki. No, what character was it?
All Might.
Oh, I can't remember. No, it wasn't All Might. So it was a character that Horikoshi drew fan art of, and
when
then another mangaka, when he was a kid, and another mangaka redrew it for him for the final volume of My Hero. If I'm remembering this correctly, it just happened not too long ago, but I can't remember the finer details. But that was really cool. The reason why I started cackling like a ancient witch was because, and I love One Piece. I love Oda. He's the GOAT. But whenever Oda draws another series, it's just that series character with Luffy's face on it, and it's such an abomination. Like, dude, Vince, I want you to look up Oda drawing Goku, and just I just want to see your face. It's like Oda's great. I love his art style.
That to me.
Because it's like, I love Oda. I love One Piece.
Okay, so you find that hilarious. However, have you seen or read Opart's Hunter?
No, I've heard of it, but I haven't read it.
It looks just like the main guy, but bigger.
The main guy, but bigger. But dude, Oda drawing any series that's not One Piece, it always looks so bad.
Yeah.
It does
look pretty bad.
I won't say bad. He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT at One Piece specifically.
He is the GOAT at One Piece. Like, Oda is an amazing artist because he's shown, like, he'll show some of his work online, and it's like him drawing other stuff that's not like manga. It looks great. It looks fantastic. But he sticks with his art style, and it doesn't work for other characters not Luffy. That's all I would say. But it's so crazy, dude. But that just made me laugh when I thought about it, because you'll see it all the time. Like, you'll have manga like Bochi drew, One Piece, art, and he did the one shot for Zoro versus Mihawk. Like, he redrew it, and it looks incredible because it's like the Dr. Stone, Sunken Rock. I guess now, what is it called?
Marshall King.
Yeah, Marshall King art style, and it looks incredible and it's really cool. But yeah, Oda, they just need to stop having Oda do it. Were you able to find the Horikoshi?
No. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know how to phrase it because, like you said, he had somebody else redraw it for him. I don't know how to look it up.
I think I found it. Okay, so it was Oda, actually. So Oda, the creator of One Piece, obviously that we just been talking about, he redrew the artwork. It was fan art that Horikoshi did when he was a kid of Smoker. So Horikoshi drew like fan art and sent it to Oda in one of the SBS of Smoker, and then Oda redrew it as one of the covers for One Piece as a shout out to Horikoshi now that My Hero was ending. And I thought that was like beautiful. And also he got to stay in his own art style, so it didn't look like Abomination Goku. But I thought that was really cool, man. And it's like this brotherhood, because it's like, as we talked about early in the podcast, the mangaka who are working in Shonen Jump and Shueisha and any, manga, they're putting their blood, sweat, and tears into that ink, man. And even if something doesn't work out, even if it gets canceled, even if you don't necessarily like it, like, we crap on Osan or Seven Deadly Frames or whatever, any bad anime, people are still putting their passion to it. And there's people who love this who are making it. So seeing them all come together.
Of Spy Fiend.
Yeah, except for that guy. He's that guy.
Fucking characters, fucking worlds.
Dude, that's still insane to me. But, it's their passion. They love it, man. And it's cool to see them show love to each other. And also see them fall in love, because the creator of Hunter x Hunter and Sailor Moon, they're married. But yeah, so, it's really cool that they can come out and like gift each other art or do these special, color spreads or volume covers for each other whenever their series hits like a milestone or ends. And, they're always talking about each other or how they like each other's work and how they inspire each other to keep pushing and being better. That's such a heavy, like, it's such a heavy, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Burden?
No, not burden, but like, it's such a theme in anime where it's like, oh, you have your rival, you got Goku, you got Vegeta, you got Naruto, you got Sasuke, you got like these people who are working hard towards this goal that are pushing each other to be better. I think
that's what part of what made the big three so good is that they were all like vying fake for the rivals. Top spot. Like everybody would be like against each other, but like not really. Everyone's like, yeah, fuck Bleach, Naruto all the way, or fuck One Piece, Naruto all the way, but it's like not really. Everyone's just like chilling instead, and then like the three of them, they have like crossover pages, or they'll have like they're like silly banter that they would have between them. I think that's part of what made it so good was that like you knew that the mangaka like didn't hate each other. There was no hatred in their work. I'm not so sure anymore. Sometimes we see them lingering around like, hey, this is chill. We're chill. Nobody do anything crazy. And then somebody says something off the wall, and you're like, you were cool.
Don't meet your heroes. But nah, man, it's just really cool. Again, obviously, we have this anime podcast. We love anime, so it's always cool to be able to see, you know, as I was kind of talked about it with One Piece. One Piece has been like a staple of our anime fandom. And, you know, other shows that were like that, like the big three, Bleach, Naruto, Dragon Ball. Like, we've seen these series and now they're not really a part of our lives. And they'll come back every now and again with, like, Dragon Ball Super or Naruto and Boruto and, you know, things of that nature. Like, they're still kind of there, but they're not the same, so it's kind of different. But One Piece has been a staple for the longest time, dude.
One of my friends has been watching through Naruto recently, and it's hard. I love Naruto. Don't get me wrong. I love Naruto. I always have, probably always will. But I don't think I could recommend it to anybody because, like, I am unyieldingly biased. Like, I literally grew up with it. I grew up at the same rate that Naruto did. He was, like, literally right there as I was growing up since, like, middle school. Always had Naruto. I just feel like it wouldn't hit the same for somebody binge watching the whole series. I just feel like it won't be the same.
You know what I do when I recommend Naruto to people? I tell them, I was like, watch the original series. Once you get to the Valley of the End fight between Naruto and Sasuke, watch the last 2 episodes of Naruto in the series where they kind of go over Ino and Sakura's training with Tsunade, and then just go straight into Shippuden. Like, because there's so much filler.
Naruto, the base series is probably like good enough. I can probably let them like watch it all the way through. But then it's like Shippuden comes up.
Shippuden is rough.
Shippuden's like, it's got plot holes everywhere. Some of the characters make questionable decisions. A lot of the squads like shake it up. It's just not the same to like have it happen slowly over time. If I were to binge watch it, I don't think that I would like it as much as I do. So I find it really difficult to like really recommend it. Like I can always say like, yeah, the Naruto versus Sasuke fight in Valley at the end was amazing. Shikaku as Shikamaru's dad is amazing. Shikamaru's an amazing character. I can say things like that, but that's cherry picking. That'd be cherry picking. Like this little thing is good, but then there's like shit like Sasuke trying to kill Team 7.
Oh my god, I hate him so much.
Yeah, and it was like unfortunate that he was poised that way, and because he could have been like Naruto's like a stay-at-home rival, but they sent him away to be like the villain or whatever, just to bring him back at the end. And it's like there were moments that everybody complains about as being plot holes and whatever that are probably much more apparent if you watch it in succession as opposed to like once per week. Like I can't think of any plot holes right off the top of my head because I don't want the holy anime to be besmirched. So I just know that there is one involving Itachi, and I was like, I'm not listening. It's not real.
Itachi's the best character, dude. I love Itachi. I don't care what nobody got to say. Okay, so on my side of things, I recommended Naruto to my old roommate, right? When we were like, you know, working together at the country club, maybe like 10 years ago, you know, he had never watched Naruto, and I grew up watching it when I was a teenager. So I was like, hey, watch Naruto. It's so good. Like, he was just asking me because he was like, he watched anime, but he didn't like see all because he's from Romania. So he didn't like have access to everything like that when he was like really young. And so he missed out on a lot of those shows. I was like, oh, well, you got to watch, Death Note. You got to watch Cowboy Bebop. You need to watch Naruto. And he started watching Naruto. He watched it all the way through. Because I was telling him, I'm like, all right, there's a lot of filler in the end of the last series. So I was like, just skip all this. And he watched it all. And then I was like, oh, Shippuden, they kind of just throw in filler wherever. There's one kid who got some of the Kyuubi's chakra for some reason because he was experimented on. I don't know why they threw that in there. There's this whole thing about shinobi, or not shinobi, but like samurais and tea or whatever. I was like, you just skip all that. But he watched it all and he loved it. So I think Naruto still holds up for all of his flaws. And Naruto does have a lot. The potential
of it being good is still there, but it's like it's coming with the risk that like it might not have been as good. Like just binge watching it, like there's a chance that if he got to see it from the beginning per week, that he would like it even more than he does now. So it could be a difference between being like a 7 as opposed to like a 9. You know? So like it's still good and people are still gonna like it. I'm sure anybody can go back and watch Naruto. The biggest thing is probably gonna be that it's long because that was like the shtick back then. I like it when there's just like one or two anime that are just kind of long. I don't always want my stuff to just end right away.
Because I would say that all the time when I was younger to friends of mine. They're like, why are you watching One Piece? This thing's like 8,000 episodes long. I was like, yeah, I like that. I like to have this show that I can come back to every week, and it's like this constant in my life. And I can just like come back and like, yo, I got another episode of One Piece to look forward to. You know what I mean? Like Naruto to look forward to. And they're like, no, you need to be watching this 26 episode every day. I was like, yeah, but when I watch it, it's done. And then I'm gone from the world. You know what I mean? I'm gone from these characters. I won't see them progress. I won't see them grow. I won't see them anymore.
The show's get like done. A time skip at the end, and you're like, no, you could have just. What if I wanted to just see that?
And I'm not saying that's bad. Like, if you have a good story, you can tell in 26 episodes, and it's great, and it's fantastic, and it's done.
Like Freeren's 28 episodes is phenomenal. Like, obviously, I want more, but like, it was the style of show that I could let it sit at this point, even if there was no season 2, which thank God there is a season 2. Now it's like, now they added season 2. Now it's like, guess what? You're signed up for another 17 seasons. I don't want to see anything less.
Exactly. Because we're fearing, like, if they did go a different route instead of them going to like the academy and trying to get the, the wizard crest or whatever it was, and they just like finished the journey through that, through the season instead, and then wrapped it up in 28 episodes, I would probably still think that Frierin's like 10 out of 10 go to show. You know what I mean? Goated. Obviously, I can't speak about what would happen, obviously, because that would derail the story or it would change so differently. Then it would have to be so drastic, but I still see it. I'm like, if she makes it to the end, is she able to speak to Himmel or whatever? And like, that would be, I would be happy. I would be incredibly happy just seeing that growth of Frieren as a character and her time shared with Stark and Fern, and even meeting up some of her old colleagues, like the dwarf guy. I forget his name. You know what I mean? Like
Aizen, I think it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say Senshi, but that's fucking Delicious in Dungeon. But yeah, like, I'm fine with shows having an end. I'm not saying like everything needs to be 1,000 episodes like One Piece.
Sometimes but it is nice having that anime. I just want one to stick around.
It's nice to watch Luffy and the gang doing fun stuff and having cool fights. And one day it will end. Kind of cycling it back to what we were talking about earlier in the podcast. One day One Piece will end. And will you, viewer at home, listener on your way to work, will you be on the right side of history? Let us know in the comments below. This is where we're going to wrap up the podcast for this week. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. We were talking about a bunch of rando stuff. I was going to talk a little bit about Solo Leveling, but I'll save that for next week's episode because I got a funny thing that I want to talk about. All I will hype it up with saying is they're on the island, baby. That's all I want to say. But I hope you guys really but yeah, I hope you like bugs. But yeah, we'll be back next week for the 48th episode of the DNAnime podcast. If you guys enjoyed the podcast, please hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube. If you guys are enjoying it in the audio realm, let us know with a review. Let us know how we're doing. Give us 5 stars. It really helps push the podcast to other people who could be a part of the anime community here at DNAnime. And, get involved in the conversation as well. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys had fun. But we'll be back next Sunday, with another banger. This has been Beautiful Crow. That's Vic Seal. And we'll see you guys then. Bye.